Bam! Jayson Waller here, true Underdog podcast, top 3 entrepreneur and motivational, inspirational podcast. Make sure you subscribe below. Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, your mom's podcast. We don't care. It's everybody's podcast. I've got 2 guests here today. We're on the how-to series, how to cold call, how to overcome objections, how to follow up, how to ask for referrals. Today is how to recruit and build a brand. An Inc. article just came out recently where we talked about how to build a brand, why it's important, things like that. I've got 2 studs right here. I've got John LeBlanc and Armando King from Powerhome Solar, our company. We're out there crushing it. We're recruiting tough, and we're building a brand tough the way we're supposed to. How are you guys doing?
What's up, baby? What's happening over there? Jason, what's up, John? What's happening with y'all, man? I'm good. Regional Director of Sales here for Powerhome. What's popping?
Popping. Love it.
What's up, Mondo? What's up, Jay? Good to be back. It's been a while, so hopefully everyone's Thanksgiving went wonderful. Excited to be back in some kind of rhythm, routine. I thrive on rhythm and routine, so glad to be back in office here.
It's good to have you too, man, because we, I haven't had you on the show in a little bit, so it's good to have you on. I think I had the 3 of us and Joe one time when we were talking about, culture, right? How important culture was. And that's going to tie into what we're talking about today on the how-to series. And look, in today's world, like McDonald's is paying $21 an hour.
Yeah.
Burger King is giving sign-on bonuses. Taco Bell puts your ass on a vacation if you take a job. Like, it's crazy, right? What are we doing? What are you guys doing specifically to continue to hire? Because we went from 800 employees before the pandemic to near 2,400 now. So what are you guys contributing? What advice would you give to listeners out there on how to continue to recruit? Like, what are some of the things we're doing?
It's got to go to my boy Mondo over there. He's charged of recruiting our sales team, so he's doing awesome. Mondo, go ahead, man.
First and foremost, man, we're blessed here at Powerhome, man. We got awesome recruiters, 7 to be exact, but everybody's not blessed with the opportunity to have recruiters. You got to know what to look for as a leader at the end of the day. Like your next best sales rep, your next best leader could be working in a restaurant right now. I'm from a restaurant, so you never really know who you're in front of. I was telling somebody the other day, bro, it'll be nice if you can take a QR code and tattoo it on everybody, and all you got to do is walk up and scan it with your phone, and then it tells you everything you need to know. But unfortunately, it's not like that, man. It's not like that. You got to know what to look for. You got to look for people that embody the things that you want to be like, you want to emulate, all those things. And you said it best, bro. You said it best. You said you're not the best at Excel. You're not the best at all these things. But what do? You recruit and you put people around you that know how to do those things, and you learn from them. So I feel like we're doing a lot. We're going above and beyond, looking for people that don't have the opportunity or the degree or whatever the case may be, because most salespeople look for a bachelor's degree. We're not looking for that, man. We're looking for people that are ready to accept the opportunity and people that are willing to learn and grow with this company. And you get an opportunity here.
No, I love that. John, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think it's important that every time you express the vision in any kind of recruiting environment, whether it's one-on-one, group interviews where you're out in public and talking to a panel of folks, but there's a buy-in, there's a why behind, your recruiting and a vision. We certainly have a vision here at Powerhome. We have a vision with our employees, certainly, and we have a vision externally for our customers. And we want those visions to collide and meet head on. So 1, buying into the vision. 2 is a why. And then 3 is creating buy-in when you have those folks, right? It's hard to create buy-in and rather it's hard to create followers, especially when you have a strong group of leaders that you're trying to lead. So you start to do those things. And that's something that Powerhome, I think, does a really nice job at, because we continue to echo it throughout the company, and our customers start to feel that as well. And when you have that meeting and working harmoniously, you create a powerful business.
And it's a big ass word, harmoniously. I can't even spell that shit.
Armando,
can you spell that shit? Because I can't.
HARM. That's all I got. Harmon. I couldn't spell Versace until you put that shirt on. I thought it was F-O-Sace.
No, you know what? That's funny. So hilarious. So that listeners need to know that, look, we don't give a fuck about your education. We don't care about your experience. We care about what's inside. Why are you here? Are you hungry? Do you want to be part of something great? And you have to understand as a leader that sometimes most people have a shelf life. And that's okay. They're going to ride that shelf as high as they can get until they can't get anymore. They want to do something else. And you're going to ride that as well. But there's not always lifers. Yeah. It's a small percentage. I've realized hiring thousands, firing thousands, to not take it personal. Of course, like, I love all our employees. I know you guys do. But I purposely try not to be too intimate and have relationships, because if and when their time expires, whether it's their choice or Powerhome's choice, it's a tough decision. And I always have to think of the brand, right? As you guys do as leaders, you have to think of the brand. So we make tough decisions every day for the greater of all, not for the greater of a few. And it's very important. And I think listeners out there need to understand how we recruit and how we promote, because one of the things, and it's not secret sauce, and I'm okay sharing it with people, because look, we want everyone to be successful, whether you're in the same industry as us or a different industry. We want everyone to really flourish and do great things in life. We want people to elevate. But one thing that I've learned is, if I were to take somebody who's had sales for 25 years, maybe 3 years in solar and 15 years in something else and 8 years somewhere else, I think that's 25, give or take, right? But I did the math right. Yeah. Right. And they got all this experience. Or I've got this new person like Armando was one time, that's a bartender that's got all this hunger and charisma and drive and is personable, but just didn't know really what sales is, right?
Yeah.
The reason that I'm going to take the second one, and I want you guys to talk on that, is because I can mold and groom them the way I want. I can train them. It's easier to train a baby or a child something that doesn't have the experience than an old dog, new tricks. Like people that think they know, they don't want to change their habits. That's one of the reasons over time that I've instituted that, to make sure that we hire based on, the whys, like John talked about. Are they culture driven? Do they believe in the same principles and morals as our brand does? And are they hungry? Where do you guys look for when you're hiring, or what do you tell your people to look for that might be different than what I just elaborated on?
So it's the exact same thing that you just said. The most successful sales reps here for this company were prior military. They were police officers. They were your local waiter at a restaurant. Like, they're just the people that you have to envision sitting down in a house doing sales. Like, can you build value? Can you relate to me? Can you make me laugh? Can you hold a conversation? Those are the real people that you really want to look for. A resume is going to tell me everything I want to see, but you tell me everything I want to know. So if you can make me laugh, if you can joke, you can hold a conversation with me, you're a great person to recruit, man. That's what we look for. I
love what you just said there. Resume says what you want to, what'd you say? Want to see.
Yep.
And you tell me what, say that again.
So resumes tell me everything that I want to see, but you tell me everything I need to know.
Ooh, that's a nugget right there. People need to mark that down. It's a nugget. Go ahead, John.
Dropping dimes. Yeah, I think the examples Mondo just gave are folks that typically can build relationships and build trust fairly quickly. He brought up service-minded people, waitresses, waiters, bartenders. Like, I don't think you can ever go wrong with that type of individual. Even in my last career, those are the individuals that always thrived, were those people that came from the service industry. And for us, it's a sales position. Mondo and I work directly on the sales team, but all you're doing is going in and building a relationship, building trust, being able to connect with the individual and show them a presentation and see if solar is going to work well for them or not. And we want people to join in building the movement. We want people to embrace the movement towards a world of clean, renewable energy. A lot of people like that too. A lot of customers will jump on board. So you get people that just can genuinely do that. Simple from there on out.
All right. So real quick, we're going to take a quick pause to hear it from our sponsor real fast. Hold on. Today's show has been brought to you by Powerhome Solar. It's time to own your power, not rent your power. Don't be left in the dark and start reducing those electricity bills. If you're looking for a career, visit powerhome.com/careers. Bam. Put your resume in now. But hey, resumes only get you to sit with us. Like Armando said, we want you to pitch us. We want you to sell us on why you want to join the team. Make us laugh, things like that. All right, let's talk about when we recruit. We talked about we have recruiters, we've been blessed, but really it's about grinding. I used to do cattle calls. Like, I love cattle calls. Like, everybody's different. I built all my companies on cattle calls because I don't have the time or the patience or the tolerance to sit there and interview 55 people to find 10. I bring all 55 fucking people in. I sit their ass down. I sell them on the dream. And then they get 2 minutes to talk to me. Now, look, that's not super effective. That's how I've done it, building businesses slow and then building up. And I advise small entrepreneurs to do it that way because time is the essence of money for you to grow. You can't be, stuck doing that all the time. But once you build a real brand and a real corporate infrastructure, we don't do the cattle calls anymore, right?
No. Dude, you have to find out who you feel like. We have to sit in front of these people because we got to say, can this person represent our company, our brand? Like, are you worthy enough to put this sun on your chest at the end of the day and be able to call yourself a Powerhome employee? So when we take the time to actually sit down with these people individually, we get to know them. We get to tell them more about our story, our why, like John said. And then we find out if this person shares that same grind, that desire at the end of the day. So yeah, we set interviews all throughout the day. We got our district managers that sit down with these people and they ask them simple questions. Like I said, it's just a common conversation that they have with you. Of course, they want to know about your experience and everything like that. But most importantly, we want to know if you can work with a group of people. Do you have problem solving skills? And are you a persistent individual is what we look for at the end of the day. So we do it one-on-one, baby. Persistence, baby.
And look, that's what I'm trying to say. Evolved. It used to be cattle calls. Yeah. Then it was recruiting one-on-one, which you guys have all mastered. I never really had the patience to do. So I'm giving you guys the floor here to do that. I think if you're first opening a business and you don't have the experience of recruiting, interviewing, things like that, cattle calls are okay, especially for sales only jobs, commission only jobs, which our job's a commission only job, but we're still adding almost 400 or over 400 FECs right now.
Yes.
Right. And we're always adding more because they want to get in an industry that is just exploding. I mean, we're in the best industry in the world right now. It's us, it's crypto, and it's cannabis, right? That's it. It's renewable. It's cannabis. You can buy the cannabis with crypto, and you can grow the cannabis with the renewable solar. We put the whole business plan together,
Smack
right? Bam, we're done. Now, John, what would you say? Like Armando mentioned, bring people in who flourish. When people come in, you came in a couple years ago, and you have seen several folks elevate and grow inside the company. Talk about how important it is to show the growth pattern of people moving up in the company.
With a growing company like ours, this is one of the things that I enjoyed doing when I first came into Powerhome was I got a chance to be in front of every single new hire, and I didn't have to deliver an empty promise on positions that will open up in 6 months or a year and a half. One of the hardest parts was finding leaders quickly. Some people that needed to be ready, that we needed to be ready within 30, 60, 90 days. And that was not me just talking. That was real. That was, someone that was a new hire coming in and leading people very, very quickly because of the opportunity of a very fast growing company. So I think it's important.
Well, I want listeners to understand what you're talking about too, to dig deeper. It's like, we would hire reps and then we're not blowing smoke, right? We're not selling fish tickets of, hey, you're going to get promoted 6 months or a year. Like we have opportunity every month of a new district opening. We're always trying to elevate leaders to an assistant district manager or district manager. And then they're growing to become regionals and there's assistant regionals. Like there is this hierarchy of growth, right? And they see real live movement of people moving up in the company. I mean, Armando, how long have you been with the company?
3.5 years, almost 4 years.
And how many times have you been promoted?
5 times.
See, look, so that's it. And Armando came in as a bartender. Yeah. That was it. Cassidy and Kenny hired you.
Yeah, Cassidy and Kennedy. Yeah, both of them got me.
They put their big green check over there saying, "Yep, that's a great hire." Right? I know that's what happened. But look, we've all had some of those where we're like, "That was mine," right? So, John, dig into that process and what that means.
Yeah, look, when we expand into a new region, think about this. And I did this for our installer side. I did it for our concierge and our customer service side. I did it for our sales side. But when we have a new district or a new region open, there are a ton of different shifts that happen within that moment. So regional steps in. So we go from DM to now a regional director. Sometimes a regional director that's only been here 6 months or a year. That's super fast in any sales organization. I don't care who you are. That's super fast. But we have that individual step up. And then we've got DM adjustments happening all over the place. And within those DM adjustments, that opens up ADM adjustments. So we have multiple reps at multiple times stepping into new positions and leading people. And that happens multiple times a year. I can promise you that. And our expansion for 2022 is crazy. It's crazy. So our biggest threat, we can call it a threat, we can call it, is our bench strength. Like, we have to have people that, like, we feel good about, that also feel good about stepping into a new position, being regionally and nationally mobile. And the thing is, you know, if we do this, and we're always doing it with three focuses, and one, we want to do what's best at the end of the day for our customer, right? Like, that's first and foremost. What's best for our customer? Then what's best for our employee or team member? Like, we take care of those two. Then we do what's best for the brand. That always falls into place. I can promise you that.
Yeah, I would, I want to jump on that. When someone comes in and they see this happen, and you're right, that's the obstacle or the fear or the issue that we may have is the bench strength. And we run our company like a sports team, right? The best are on the court every day. And it's important. We have an 80-20 rule where we try to draw the line in the sand where the bottom 20 don't get to run leads or have to go back to training because we want them to elevate themselves. I always think of the gazelle running from the lion. I just saw a commercial. It's something I've been preaching and saying forever, and I've heard it somewhere, and then I kind of put my own story and twist to it. But I watched the commercial last night. I forgot where it was. And, the gazelle was like, I'm getting ready to drink this drink. He's drinking like a protein or an energy drink. And the other gazelle goes, why are you doing that? You're not going to go outrun the lion. He goes, I don't have to outrun the lion. I got to outrun you. Right.
Oh, that was a Red Bull commercial.
It was a Red Bull commercial. Right.
Right.
So think about that. Like, in life, right? Sometimes we set those expectations and those goals too high. But the goal is you just got to try to beat the people near you. Like, you got to be in that top 80% in our business. Now, we'd love you to be in the top 20% because it's our top 20. Those are the ballers, right? Those are the ones that do so much of it. I believe 80% of our effort. But the next 60%, so that gets us to 80. That's the average. That's the middle.
Yep.
And the bottom. And I'm a believer that not only do you need to see the growth of somebody being hired, because when people take a job, they take it for, in my opinion, three reasons. One, shouldn't be number one, but one is money.
Yeah.
Two is position. Am I going to get the opportunity to be promoted? This is my position. This is how I feel. It's to have that. And three is usually a passion of why, and I love the company, right? Those are three things that I think we try to show them. One, we can show them the money. I mean, we had a field energy consultant make $400,000 last year. Yeah. Okay. We've had, I don't know, tens, hundreds make over $100,000 a year. I mean, it's crazy, right? So the money's there. We're showing growth. You see, Almondo's been promoted 5 times. John, I think you've been promoted twice.
Twice, yeah.
In 2 years. We've got stories of other guys. Jason Cassidy been promoted 5 or 6 times. Like, these are the stories that you hear of people growing. But what's cool is you can have someone in your recruiting class that you come in and in 60 days, they need help and they know that you're a stud or a studette, and they move you move that person to ADM and then move them to DM. And then you see it live. Like, you see people growing, and then, I want to move to Texas. They see an opportunity. You raise your hand. We're allowing everybody to partake in this, and we're interviewing everybody. How important is for them to see that? Because to me, that just changes everything. We're not corporate America where you come in and it's like, you'll get promoted one day. Like, they're seeing it in real time.
It's inspiration, man. It's just flat out inspiration. I heard you say this one time, man. You said the most important leaders and the best leaders in this organization are people that churn out leaders. They're the people that can build leaders up and then push those guys up. And I think when I took that in, I said to myself, I was like, if I help this person get to where they want to be, I'm inevitably going to get to where I want to be. Hence 5 promotions in 3.5 years, which is just unheard of in any kind of organization. So I think that's the biggest part is you bring people in, you let them see how you run your district as a leader. They think you're having fun, and you are having fun, because every day is not the same here at Powerhome, bro. You wake up and you're going to see something different. You're going to hear something different. You're going to hear great news. You're going to hear bad news some days. It's just the way the cookie crumbles, but I'm having fun with what I'm doing, dude. That's the most important thing. And when you see that, you want to do that. And that's what pushes people here.
Yeah, I remember my old man told me that many years ago. He was in the military for a short time, and that was what, his drill sergeant instilled to him. And so I've always thought that the best leaders train and mold new leaders, because that's how you elevate up. It's okay if you move them up. Eventually you'll get your shot, and that should push you up naturally, but sometimes not. Sometimes you got to let nature take its course. You grew somebody that's going to move up, and that's okay. That's part of the deal. But you look important and invaluable to a company when you see how many leaders you can produce. That's my opinion. Results are results, and you get a scorecard for that, and your commissions show that. But when you're making leaders and you're elevating other people, I mean, dude, you're changing everything, right, John?
Yeah, and that, kind of tying this back to building a brand, that becomes your brand. So there's your brand inside of the Powerhome brand. Like if I know Armando and Armando's tree, like if I say that to a group of people have these people in their heads, right? Jason's tree of people, be like, that came from Jason's tree, that came from Mondo's tree. And that's a brand, super organized, highly professional, persistent, consistent, like super competitive. Like all those are things to be like, when I pick this leader from this tree, I know what I'm getting. So to tie it back into brand, super important to build an overall company brand for our external and internal people. But man, you are building a brand when you're recruiting and developing folks inside Powerhome, and the rest of the company certainly notices that.
It reminds me of football coaches, like who came out of Bill Parcells.
That's right.
You had Bill Belichick, who came out of Bill Belichick.
Yep.
You go through all of these folks that come out, who came out of Bill Cowler, and you got Mike Townsend. You got all these people that they have their tree. I love that. And now you can look at them and say, that's from the tree and that's what to expect. I never looked at it that way. And I absolutely love that, because that's what we're doing subconsciously. Mm-hmm. And that's a good way to look at it. Like, oh, well, that's on Armando's tree. That's what we're getting. And, it's important for listeners and viewers out there building a business or in a sales organization. How do I get this thing fire started? How do I start really grinding and growing it? The difference is, you got to be able to recruit, but you got to be able to show people moving up in the organization. It's got to be real. They got to be able to see the money. They got to be able to relate to what you're doing and love what you're about. If you don't love or like a lot what you're doing and you're not having fun, like Armando said, it just becomes a job. And that's why I said the expiration, comes fast, right? Your shelf life happens quickly. I've seen great people we've had to let go.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, or seeing great people leave. One of the things that I struggle with, when you're recruiting is one of the things I used to try to ask, because I struggle with this, is I want to make sure I'm not getting someone who feels entitled. Yeah. Right. There's nothing I dislike more, except a liar, than someone who feels entitled. You'll get the comment from people sometimes like, I built your company, right? Or I've been there 3 years and this is what's going on. I didn't get promoted. Well, asshole, you've been paid every paycheck for 3 years, right? I mean, it's not like you did it for free. I mean, we paid you and you did your job. Okay, I think that's a fair deal. And two, you put yourself in a bad position. If you wanted to shine, take it to the next level. I've never, ever, ever in our industry had regrets of firing anybody in any company I've been in. I've had regrets not firing them in time. Yeah. When I had a gut check, I'm a big believer. I talked about it in my other book. When you feel like someone shouldn't be here, you already have your answer. You already have your answer. Because if they're a great employee and they're great for the culture and they're great for the brand and they're great for the customer, they're great for their peers and they're building, you'll never question that. But if you are doing a gut check and saying, I don't know if this person should be here, I think maybe we should fire that person, you already know the answer. Why are you suffering 1,000 cuts to die and waiting forever for that spoiled milk to rot everything else in the fridge? Because that's where I struggle. Like, I'm a big believer, once you feel that way, you got to move on. It's not personal, it's business, because you would never question that if they were doing what they're supposed to be doing and going above and beyond, right?
100%. I've hired people into this company and I've been blessed to have friends around me and family members around me that got sales. They not even the sales experience, but they got the sales ability. And I've been blessed to be able to hire those people in. And I had to have that conversation with them. I was like, look, you're close to me. I love you to death. Love you like a sister. Love you like a brother. I'm going to bring you into this company and let this company give you the opportunity. But if you lose it, that is completely on you. You have to look yourself in the mirror. You got to look inward and figure out where you go and grow from there. But I'll give you the opportunity. The door is open. And that's what you want to do for your friends and family. You want to open that door and you let them take their own path, trailblaze their own path. But it's inevitable at some point you will decide to maybe part ways, or Powerhome may decide to part ways with you. But that's the way it is here.
Yeah.
So it's always hard with friends and family, as you know, like a startup company, Jay, right? Like, I'm sure you've had a hell of a time navigating these 5 years.
Hey, 3 startup companies, dude. I've been there.
Yeah,
I still don't have relationships with people because of it.
I mean, who do you lean on? You lean on your friends and family to help, right? People want to help, and it always is, look, I give you a ton of credit, man. I can only imagine how difficult it can be. But
it's the entitlement. It's the entitlement that they gain, though. That's what bothers me. So let me give you another example. So when we're sitting with 100 employees or 50 employees, the CEO is more intimate with a lot of the employees. So if you're more intimate with employees and you bring them along and you have a relationship with them, but then all of a sudden you get to 800 employees and you get to 1,000 employees, you get to 2,000 employees, and you got about 8 people between you and some of those people, they feel neglected because they didn't grow with the company. And what I said is, look, for listeners out there, for you guys, like, life's a puzzle and business is a puzzle. It really is. You're not going to get the same person every time. You're not going to get someone who hits home runs every time. You're going to get people who hit base, singles, doubles, triples, and every now and then you'll get a home run. And that's okay. But if it's a puzzle, you got to find all these pieces. You got to have the person that's here 6 months, that does well and then leaves. You got to have the person that's here 2 years, brings 3 people on, does well and then moves. You're going to have the person that's a lifer. You're going to have the person it is part of the deal, right? I've learned to accept it. It's part of the deal. I have zero regrets. It's part of the deal. But you have to seriously not take it personally. Yeah. And you have to, like he said, they have to trailblaze their own map. But the entitlement that people get, like, I was talking to Kenny not too long ago, and we were talking about somebody that has been with us a while. And I somewhat, used to be like, hey, what's up? But, as we grew, like, I kind of separate myself. I'm supposed to, because otherwise, if you've got a direct line to me, you're not going to your superiors. It just cuts everything off. You got to have chain of command. And because I do that, they get butthurt, or, oh, he thinks he's too good, or the company, I've been here for the years. Like, maybe they didn't earn a promotion and they get bitter. Because you guys mentioned, we got to build up your bench. We got to have the best starters all the time. If we got a guy averaging 14 points a game and he's our starter, great. But if we get somebody that's averaging 25, we're going to tell it 114, dude, you better step it up, because this guy's he's on the bench. He's going to take your spot. And then eventually going to take the spot. And you're going to put the 14 on the bench. And if he's still only dropping 14, or he's going down to 10, he might fall off the bench completely. And you have to have that mentality. But the entitlement, I keep circling around this, that this person or a lot of people have, is when you're a small company, they feel like it's because of them you're successful. Yeah. And they're not wrong, but they're not right. It's because everybody. Powerhome's not successful because of my face. Powerhome's not successful because El Mondo hiring everybody. Powerhome's not successful because John, was in training development. Now he's in sales, and helping everything out with the organizational end of that side. No, it's successful because all of us play our part, right? The entire company plays its part. A cog in a wheel, on a tire, on a truck, on the road. Like, we're all part of this machine, right? And nobody's bigger than anything. Doesn't matter if you sweep the floors, you sell all the deals, you install everything, you're our CFO. It doesn't matter. Nobody's bigger than anybody. And we've made the company with process and systems to not be held hostage to certain individuals that, are high on the results. It's the New England Patriots, right? Plug and play. And we do that for our brand. But I think that the encouragement for people out there that I've struggled with is, as you grow, if people don't grow with the company and you, they're going to get resentful. They're going to get bitter, and they're going to feel entitled. Yeah. And I always have the rule of thumb is I always go, they can feel entitled if we didn't pay them to do their job. But if we paid them to do their job, they've already been compensated for everything they've done. You guys agree?
1,000%.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, that's the business transaction, right? And I think on the other side of it, right, as a team member, as an employee, you've got to think of that. I think, especially as like a mid-level manager, that it's very common, right? You do a good deed, you help someone else, and then you seek credit. And that third one is where you can get in trouble. When you start seeking credit for the things that you've done in the past, that becomes a vicious downward cycle. So just do a good deed, help other folks, and move on. Start doing it again and do that again. Don't seek credit. You don't. If you never seek it, it'll come to you organically. There's no reason you have to ask for it, right? Yep. Just move on. Do your job. Your job was done. Move on. Go help someone else.
1,000%.
I agree.
You get emotional about this opportunity, especially here at Powerhome. When you've been here so long, you put in all the hours and all those things like that. And I find myself getting emotional too, but I'm never emotional about what I did. I'm emotional about what I do. Like I would never let anybody or anything threaten what I do here at this company. So I know in my mind, to this organization, I'm invaluable, of course, because I work every single day. I work hard. I don't feel like nothing's going to come to me or I deserve anything. Like I work for it. Like that's what I had to do. My mom had to do that her whole life. Then I took that from her and I embodied that myself. Like I got to work for it in order for me to get it. Nothing's going to be handed to me. Life's not easy, man.
No, I love that. I love that you said you had to work for it. Nothing's going to be handed to you. And I think that that mentality is most of the Powerhome employees and a lot of the ones who have been elevated to become leaders, right? You guys agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
And I think that that's important. And we don't sugarcoat anything. You know, we show the results right there every meeting. If you shit the bed, we show you shit the bed. You didn't perform. If you crushed it, we're like, hey, golf clap, you crushed it, right? But you live every day like a playoff game. You're only as good as what you did for me lately. I don't give a shit what you did for me in 1994. I don't give a shit what you did for me in 2019. I don't give a shit what you did for me last month. I care what you did for me today and yesterday. And as long as you kind of have that mentality and the employee has that mentality, it's a win-win. But if you don't have that mentality, you don't think like that, you're not putting the best players on the field, you're not building your best bench, and you allow to be held hostage to people because of the emotional connection, family and friends, or because of their results, and they're putting you in a corner and making you feel like, well, I'll quit, and you just feel hostage to them. I say bullshit. I say you can't do that. You're going to have to develop systems and processes that don't allow that allow people like Armando and John who work for it to move up in a company, and not allow people who want to cry and point the finger because they didn't do enough and feel entitled to hold everybody down. That's my biggest issue when you recruit. Let's go back to building a brand. You know, you mentioned Armando, you know, wearing the sun on your chest. You want to make sure that they can embody that and they're the right people. You know, we're building a brand. You know, we've had partnerships with NFL teams, Major League Baseball teams, college. You know, we've done stuff with Military Makeover. We're getting ready to do something with the #1 draft pick coming out in the NFL. We're going to do a deal with him. I'm going to go on record, say Aiden Hutchinson's going to be the #1 pick, and we're going to try to do something with him. So it's going to be big. Yeah. So, but, you know, we're building a brand all the time, and I've never done that before. In the other companies, I didn't really understand it. Yeah. Right. And I knew that when we opened this company, that I wanted it to be special, the brand to be special, to be unique, you know, and to feel good about it. And look, there were times doing lives and posting things that people were just hating, like, you know, why are you doing that? And I would annoy friends and family, like, man, you're always posting your Powerhome shit. Like, enough's enough. It's never enough. My advice to everybody out there listening, you can't promote yourself enough. You're supposed to piss everybody off, because the more you're out there, the more business you're going to get, the more employees you're going to get, the bigger the brand's going to be, the more, like, that's what it's about. That's the world we live in. Coca-Cola, you know, Aflac, Progressive Insurance, all of them that just bombard you with commercials. Yeah, sometimes like, okay, another commercial like that. But you know who they are because they built the brand. That's what we're trying to accomplish. And that's what we try to embody into our employees, right?
100%, man. It's just like the Nationwide song is always in my mind. And that Let the Sun Shine, that's always on your mind because it's front of mind. And I think with you, I don't think you're that type of guy that always wants to be out in front and show your face and all those things like that. But that's what you have to do for this company, man. Like, you have to put a face with Powerhome. And if you don't have anything to associate it to. I think we got some smart like marketing people on our team that put you in the right place at the right time and in front of the right group of people that help elevate this company to the next level, man. So
I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't like to see I just took a picture the other day and had to post it like, who wants a hug from this guy, right? And it's me, but I mean, like, I get a little douched out still. I'm adapting, but I know we need a brand.
Yes.
Right. And I'm okay with that. Like, I've learned to embody that. Like, it's fine. I'm not doing it out of arrogance. I'm doing it because it helps the brand. It builds a face to tie to the company. You know, there's good and bad with it.
Yep.
The bad is like, if someone's pissed, dude, I'm scared I'm going to get shot. Maybe I should wear a bulletproof vest. I get threats from ex-employees. I ain't kidding. I'm like, dude, should I hire security? Like, what's up? Right. You get nervous. Like, it's my face everywhere. But on the other token, hey, my face, if customers love me, they love our brand, they love our company, they love what we did, they're high-fiving me when they see me, like, that's a great feeling. So you got to take the good with the bad. You know, I think it was smart on marketing to do that. There's some days I'm like, man, I wish I wasn't on anything. And then there's some days like, man, I really love that I'm on this. I'm getting to go sit down and dinner in the VIP section for free, right? There's perks, but there's also like, oh, I hate this. So, you know, that comes with it. But our brand specifically on Powerhome, you know, culture driven, doing the right thing, A+ with the BBB. You mentioned it, John, customers first, employees second, our brand third, and all that embodies the brand of who we are. You know, what tips would you give these folks real quick, because we've got a few more minutes, on how to build not only the company brand, but individual brand? We'll go to you first, John, then you, Armando.
Yeah, you know, just to tie back what we were saying, you know, just, you know, Mondo brought up, was it Nationwide, Mondo? You know, I always think of State Farm. It's crazy how many State Farm commercials you see during a football game. But, you know, that's what it takes to build a brand. And there was a question that was proposed to you, Jayson, when we kind of first started this. And I think it was one of our first few commercials. And it was, you know, if we had, you know, to pick one person to go into a home and connect the individual with solar, and our business was going to ride or die on it, who are you picking? And the answer was unanimous. It was Jayson Waller, right? We're going to put Jayson Waller in to go do that. And the reason is because you're an influencer, and you don't have to be a strong influencer to build traction and brands within a brand itself, but you got to build buy-in. And leaders have to do that. And I think that's one of the things that you do really well. I mean, I was your personal trainer and you got me to come into the company, right? Like, there's some kind of influence of path there that organically like just happened between our relationship. I'm like, damn, like that company seems cool. Like, Jayson obviously seems super cool. Like, I'm bought in, like, whether I knew it or not, like, I was bought in. And we're not talking about like influencing to a point where we're like, you know, selling ice to Eskimos. It's just influencing and selling. Like, good sales is just helping. Yeah. Like, they can decide on what they want to do, but you're simply helping. And Powerhome platform is at a point where we're literally helping people financially expand their career. And that's the coolest part. Obviously, the cool part is helping customers go solar. That's awesome too, right? And own their power. But when internally, when you see it, folks just, you know, doing things they've never been able, they would dream of doing. You know, Mondo and I are two prime examples. Like, that is cool shit.
Yeah, it is cool. You know, that's when people say, what are you most proud of? It's our employee base, right? Yeah. It's the difference that it's made for our employees. That's what I always am like. That always gives me the goosebumps and makes me feel at high end. I mean, you know, it's cool we win awards and all that, but I love to hear the stories like Armando, you know, bought his girl a engagement ring after bullshitting around all those years, right? And then buying a house, right? And then, and then gets married. Like, you love to see those stories because it's real and it's right there in front of you, and you feel like, hey, we were part of that. We're all family. Yeah. Armando, go ahead, talk about brand, and as well, and what separates us from other companies, because these guys need tips on how to recruit when you're competing with McDonald's and Burger King with sign-on bonuses and vacations.
Yeah. So when it comes to our brand, man, like there's a brand that our customers see. Of course, it's the name Powerhome and your face and all those things. But within our company, it's sort of like a brand. So it kind of ties into the individual brand. It's just BAM. We always go by BAM, baby. Everybody loves to hear BAM. You might hear Jayson say it 10 times on a podcast. And that just simply stands for building a movement. And everybody, like you said, everybody has to be in lockstep, rowing in the boat at the same direction at the same time. It's a crazy story that I know our brand is so big. Check this out. We had a district manager that just had a beautiful baby boy 5 days ago, and he named his baby BAM for the middle name. I promise you.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
We need to get that baby's picture and put it on the website, baby.
That is what building a brand is all about. You get people that buy in, and you said it. You got lifers. You got all these people that'll be here for 2 months, whatever the case may be. But we built big enough of a brand to where people are like, dude, like I love this company so much that I'm willing to name my baby's middle name BAM, baby. Like that is a brand, baby. And of course, you got to separate yourselves from other companies because you got McDonald's. Guess what? You got McDonald's, you got Burger King. They both selling burgers at the end of the day. But what does Burger King say? Everything is made fresh here. Everything is made fresh. With us as a company, we can really hang our head on being American made products, guys. Like that is what we do here. We reshore. We bring jobs back to the United States. COVID hit us and it hit our nation, and people were out of jobs, all those things like that. I can say, yes, we provide American made products for our consumers and all those things like that, but we also provide jobs for people here in this company and jobs for people here in the US because we reshored, we brought jobs back here. And that's what I'm proud of here at this company, man. So separate yourself, baby.
I love that. And I think that to end it, you know, another thing you can separate yourself is show the career path and growth early on, right? Don't make broken promises. Show compensation, real life stories of people being compensated and making a difference in their life. You know, you don't want to sell smoke or fish tickets. You want it to be real. You got to be tangible. You know, we have the big checks we give away. You know, we have all the rankings of what people made and what city they're in. It's important to have that stuff if you're recruiting. And like Armando said, we got 7 recruiters, but if you can't get recruiters, you need to pick up the phone and dial, smile and dial, email, sit down with folks, you know, dig in deep, ask the questions. You know, it's easier to teach a new employee skills than it is to teach them, you know, personality. You know, you can't teach them to want to work hard. You can't teach them to be honest and have integrity. You can't teach them to want to compete. You can't teach them to want to grow and to be kind. Those are things you can't teach. You can teach how to put in solar or how to sell solar or how to market. Like you can teach stuff. Whatever your career is, whatever business is listening here, you can teach, but you can't teach how that person is or what kind of person they are. And that, in my opinion, is the biggest difference of how we recruit compared to other people. Right, guys?
That's right. Soft skills and hard skills, right? But we recruit intensely. Like there's no other company like it, guys. So don't be scared to spend some money on investing in people. That is your number one asset. I've never seen any other company recruit as aggressively as we do, and we do it well.
Human capital. That's what it's called
That's
now.
right.
Human capital, right? All right. Well, hey, I love you guys. I'm proud of you guys. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I think you guys did. We're going to crush December. We're going to go into 2022 with big news. Love you guys. Thanks for everybody coming to join us on How to Recruit and Build a Brand with my guy, Armando King, John LeBlanc. Thank you guys.
Bam, baby.
And that concludes another episode here on True Underdog. If you're interested in hearing more, make sure you subscribe at iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or the YouTube channel. You can always visit trueunderdog.com, subscribe to all of them. Make sure you check out our newest episodes coming out on Mondays and Thursdays. True Underdog, baby. Bam!